What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Purple People Podcast. This is episode 634, and we are doing the Super Bowl 60 recap and our annual award show. And got a special guest in today as well, Mike Castellino. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. He got fired. I'm happy. I've been riding that wave for a little while now. So it's good.
That's right. You can chime in all you want on that one. Kyle Smith, we talked about that last week. Adam and I talked about that last week. You were off. So, yeah, if you guys want to break the ice on what you think on the general manager getting fired, go for it.
Well, sorry I missed the show, guys. I'm not bragging, but I will fill you in. I got to go to another Super Bowl to work. The coolest thing about my trip was not football related at all. I was just sharing with the guys. If you're a Scream nerd like I am, I visited the original house about an hour north of San Francisco. My dog and I got to search the stadium. We got a cool picture at the Golden Gate Bridge, but I was on a night shift. It was very boring. I feel like I'm still in the upside down from Stranger Things because nothing feels like my normal schedule and all that. And then I just told the guys I watched the game Sunday, and I got the first quarter, fell asleep, woke up with 2 minutes left, and I was like, oh, well, this really wasn't a game at all. So, yeah, I'm glad you guys covered that. What a weird time to fire your general manager. And with whatever, I know Adam's really in tune with stuff and has some super secret sources, I would say. I guess it is Kevin O'Connell and Rob, they're just going to run the show.
Rob already hired someone to help him, and I think he's going to handle everything through the draft. But I wouldn't be surprised if after the draft they kept Rob on, because I don't know what GM is going to want to come in after the draft and just take a look and be like, okay, this is what I got to work with.
Right. I kind of assumed he would be the GM because it's the same way, take any random team that's not very good most years. They draft a quarterback. What's that?
Cleveland?
Yeah, I was going to say Cleveland or the Raiders, whoever. They draft a quarterback 2 years later. The entire team the management is fired. And you're like, well, what's the quarterback going to do? And then if you bring somebody in after the draft and they don't like any of the players, like how would that fit in? That was odd timing, but.
Did you guys see the report that the Browns are actually considering trying Deshaun Watson next year?
Trying him at what?
Quarterback.
Oh, no.
Pretty crazy to me.
I don't know if they really have a choice, though. Like, financially, I don't really think they have a choice. Like, they can't really cut him.
Isn't a choice. Putting him on the field is.
Yeah, but that's why I think they're doing it. I mean, they're going to be crap either way. You might as well see if he can.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
25% of like what he used to look like.
Let's see what his cap it is.
Oh, it's bad. It's the worst one in the league. It's highest.
It's set to carry a massive $80.7 million salary cap hit in 2026. 24% of their salary cap, base salary is 46. I still don't know how the cap works. I'm gonna learn this offseason.
No.
If he is released before June 1st, the dead cap could exceed $131 million, though a post June 1st designation could split this cost. This is the last year of his 5-year, $230 million fully guaranteed deal signed in 2022. Well, I'll tell you this. I'm going to bring Kirk Cousins into this because I lost my shit when he got $28 million a year back in 2018. It's not the worst deal in history. That right there is awful. That's awful. You know, if they were good people in that organization, you wait till June 2nd and you just cut ties and say, you're welcome. Hopefully you make yourself right in whatever your future endeavors are because they're not going to be with us. That's what I would do. But
I know his legal issues are over now, and he ended up settling, I think, all but 2 out of court.
Yeah, that part I'm still not cool with. Personally, I'm sure you guys would probably feel somewhat the same, but it's still push all that aside. Let's say that never happened. He looked like shit the last time he was on the field, and he hasn't played in forever. So it's like, I can't – how do we say it? Phillip Rivers coming off the couch after 4 years, looking as good as he did, he looked better than Deshaun Watson did after being in the building every day for 2 years. So I'm like, if that's the best you look now, I just think his confidence and everything is shaken. And with all the extra stuff, I would just cut ties. But yeah, it's Cleveland. They're not going to cut him. They'll be like, hey, can you solve our problems 6 years later? That'd be cool.
But now with the Vikings kind of looking for a quarterback that has some experience, we're getting names thrown at us from every direction. What is the worst name you've heard connected to the Vikings?
Geno Smith.
I was going to say that, but I don't think you said worst.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I got to put it out there because I put it in the group chat today. Imagine going from a team that as soon as you left, they win the Super Bowl, and the team you go to gets the number 1 pick. He's pretty fucking bad. And it sucks because he was all right with Seattle. I don't know what happened, man. I guess the personnel and everything fits. Whenever it fits, it's good. But
the name that I think is the worst. Not that this is some sort of contest. I mean, it's debatable. I'd say Malik Willis. I think a lot of people are propping up a guy who had 4 good games.
Great in Green Bay. I'm curious why you say that.
Well, Matt Flynn threw 6 touchdowns and then went to Seattle quite a few years ago, and he was a better passer of the football. Willis was bad in Tennessee. I don't think he's turning a lead because he had a couple of okay games at Green Bay. It's not, and they didn't win them either. Like, they've still been losing. I mean, if he was lighting up the skies, pardon?
Quarterback wins aren't a stat. Ask Smith.
No, they're not. But I don't feel like he's going to elevate. And do we really want a guy who's throwing for 170 yards instead of 150? I mean, it's not really much of an improvement. Like, he wasn't throwing for a ton of yards at Green Bay anyway.
Well, here's where
if any of you guys have Jared Allen's phone number, give him a call because he wants Tua in Minnesota.
Who?
Yeah, Tua. Yeah, I seen that.
Jared Allen.
Jared Allen.
Jesus Christ, Jared. What the fuck is wrong with you? How dare you? That's the last person I want on this team.
It might be the worst guy that they could bring in.
You cannot put him and Brian. You can't put him and Brian Flores back in the same building.
Right? Exactly.
Well, that's just off that alone. Yeah, even if you think somehow you can get something out of him, off that alone, it's done right there.
I can't believe Jared Allen said that. He's so much smarter than that. Kyler Murray is who Kyle West said yesterday. He sent a text to me about that, and I was very angry. I was like, probably, but I hate it. Yeah, Kyler Murray's an option. Geno Smith would be bad. It's all a bunch of Marcus Mariota maybe. Apparently, and I heard Ben Lieber's been very, very vocal this offseason. Everything he said so far, I'm like vehemently yes, 100% agree. The Niners say they're not going to trade Mac Jones, but if you dangle a second-round pick in their face and a player, they'd be like, okay, we were just joking. Like, of course, you're not going to trade Brock Purdy. That's their dude. But Mac Jones probably wants to
really want again. Jordan Addison.
What's that?
The 49ers, they really want Jordan Addison. So I'm sure they could work something out.
Yeah. You know what I'm not worried about with this franchise, Adam? Finding a wide receiver. That's the one thing they do correct. I hate to say it. Yeah.
Justin Fields. I don't want no part of Justin Fields.
Yeah, no, we're good there.
Russell Wilson?
Yeah, Russell Wilson.
No.
Yeah, it's not good. I think Mac Jones is probably your best option. Oh, no, I take that back. Mac Jones is your best because he's younger and he's probably a little more athletic. Kirk Cousins seems very feasible, but he's also going to be 37. And Kyle made the good point. Kyle thinks he's going to retire. I don't think he's going to retire.
I don't. No. Okay, I think there's a possibility. What has Kirk always done? Kirk has always chased the highest amount of money he can get. So if one of these broadcasting teams, and he's shown he's going to be a pretty good broadcaster when he finally does retire, man, if they dangle a really big contract in front of Kirk, I could potentially see him taking that deal.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. The one thing I'd say on that is if he actually at some point wants to care about trying to, leave a legacy that's not 100% about making the most generational wealth literally humanly possible, even though you don't need it, this would be the year because he's going to get a ton of money from Atlanta. He could sign a $5 to $10 million 1-year deal. And we'd finally get to see what that puzzle piece looks like on a cheap contract. Not that I think it would be any different aside from maybe a playoff win or two because how cheap he'd be. And he knows the offense so well. I am actually higher on the Kyler Murray idea than probably most, but that's another different discussion. But yeah.
I don't think you win a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins. But you can at least
guy because let's be honest. I think right now Minnesota still wants McCarthy to be the guy, but with the change in GM, that's no longer a lock. So now I don't know.
Yeah, and Kirk brings in some stability. He can run the offense. He can not look like an embarrassment out there on the field for the team like we had with McCarthy and Brosmer. And like you said, whoever the next general manager is not tied to J.J. McCarthy. And so you can say, oh, look how young he is, and he's a first-round pick, and this, that, or the other thing. But if he doesn't show it, he doesn't show it, and you're hopefully not forcing yourself into a situation where you feel like you have to play him now moving forward. Maybe now you can legitimately go, hey, he sucked in training camp. He sucked in preseason. You're third string.
And it doesn't feel like it, but he is entering year 3. Year
3, and he's only played what, Smith? How many games? 10?
10. It's
29% of his games, and I think I'm rounding up there.
Yeah.
Not good.
And I want to go back. I've said this 70 times on the show since the season started, but is it fair to judge that because he got injured? No.
It's not,
I care?
but
Absolutely not. Because guess what? The longer you want to run with this kid and the more he's inconsistent and you don't win games, you don't go to the playoffs, the coach is going to get canned, Jefferson's going to want out, and then you get to rebuild again. I'm 100% okay with Trey Lancing this kid. I don't give a damn that Kevin O'Connell himself said, organizations fail young quarter. I don't care. At the end of the day, the fans want you to win, and they want butts and seats because the team is exciting. The team's not exciting when you're losing, and this team's done a lot of losing in the wrong places. Not all the time. They're about as 500 as it gets as a franchise as a whole over their lifespan. But you're not married to these kids. That's specifically why the rookie contracts got ditched the way that they did and set up how they are now. It's like, well, it's not going to be a Deshaun Watson situation where if I cut you, oh my God, 25% of my cap is tied up. No, go find someone else. And that leaves me hopeful a little bit now that the GM's gone, now that we know they're going to bring in a vet of some sort, that they might be able to make some stupid trade for somebody. Of course, in my heart of hearts, I want Joe Burrow. Probably not going to happen. I don't even think Cincinnati would entertain that, but I know Joe would probably like to play here. But I'm interested to see what they come up with. I would probably look at a deep dive at who could be like on the fringe of like maybe they might move on next year. Another name that I heard, I think it was Ben Lieber who says, don't quote me if Ben ever listens to this, but the shoulder is feeling better and he kind of wants to come back. I wouldn't mind a 1-year deal. Is Derek Carr. Bring him in for 1 year. He can't be worse than anybody else we tried to this year. I don't know.
One thing that I thought was interesting were the reports that Kevin O'Connell had approached Kwesi and said, hey, McCarthy isn't ready.
Yeah. I believe it. I believe every bit of it.
I hope that he said that, because if he trusted that going into it, I have questions.
That's why I've said for a while now since it's happened, and by the way, like I said, I've been joyful. I've had a smile on my face the last 2 weeks so much because this fraud, failure, whatever term you want to use about Kwesi, he's gone. I'm so happy. Like the draft production was god awful, to put it nicely. I believe every bit of it because there's a reason why Kwesi got fired and they didn't touch Kevin. Everyone's, they're a duo. And I told you guys, I don't know if you guys remember when I was on the show with you guys last time, I said, I almost guarantee Kevin said, I do want at least Daniel Jones or Sam Darnold. I knew you could just tell by the way this quarterback group was constructed whose fault it was. There is no way the guy who has had Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold, heck, even Josh Dobbs are more of a veteran than these guys that we had this year. There's no way you were getting me to buy that Kevin O'Connell was happy and content with J.J. McCarthy as the starter and Carson Wentz as a late addition because Sam Howell fell on his face, who apparently, if you guys hear reports and look into it, even Kevin wasn't even high on bringing in Sam Howell. Apparently that was Kwesi's idea. And I believe it because Kwesi said at his last press conference as Vikings GM, and I take quite joy in saying that again, he said it was one variable taken out. No, it's not. If you really want to look at it that way, sure, quarterback is far more than one variable. It's far deeper than that. It is the most important position on the entire team. If you don't have that right, you're pretty much screwed.
Sometimes you have to get off the spreadsheet, and that was always the problem with bringing in a numbers analytics guy, is that at some point you have to get off the spreadsheet and be like, does this guy pass the eye test for what we want to do out on the field. Like, or if you can't do that yourself, you have to rely 100% on your coaching staff. And if there was any kind of a question where Kevin O'Connell said, hey, maybe McCarthy's not ready, and you went against what he did, like you're digging your own grave at that point as a general manager, if that is what happened. And
like, I was a big fan of giving Kwesi time, even with the drafts and everything. But once those reports started coming out, I was like, I don't know about this at all anymore.
I think, just kind of my speculation, reading between the lines a little bit, I don't think he had a sufficient answer from Mark and Ziggy Wilf on the direction that he was going to be taking the team in 2026 and moving forward. I don't think he was able to lay out a concrete plan on, this is what we're doing at quarterback, this is the direction that we're heading, as a franchise. And if you don't have that in place, that's what I said. Even if it was maybe a little late in the process on moving on from your GM, you still move on from your GM, because you have to start heading in the right direction. Delaying it another year isn't going to help anyone's cause at all.
No. It would have got Kevin canned.
Can go back.
It would have.
First time
really
GM. I think that's it.
I'll be honest. Does anyone here, and feel free to disagree, does anyone here think Kwesi ever finds a job? Forget a GM job in the NFL.
I don't.
He'll be an analyst assistant, something like that, a GM assistant or something. He'll do fine.
I honestly, I don't think I think it'll be more of his personal decision. I don't think he'll stick in the NFL. I don't remember his work history off the top of my head, but I know that he kind of bounced around a little bit on trying out different things. He's a guy that's smarter than the four of us combined. He can do any.
I'm not sure about running a football team, though. I think we'd have a chance. I think we'd have a legit chance.
I've never been the kind of person to root for someone to fail either.
Right. But where I'm going with that is that I think that he's probably going to find some other outlet that's interesting.
I agree.
That he can apply his big brain towards and work towards that.
Yeah. That's my outlook to it.
I ain't worried about that.
It ended so ugly in Minnesota. I don't think the only team that I think touches him with a 10-foot pole is Cleveland. And again, they're a disaster. I mean, it would be easy. He was already there prior. Him and Andrew Berry are close.
I want to agree with you, but I'm looking at the way the NFL works, and I see stupid hires all the time. Sean Mannion is the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles.
He could be a good coach. I mean, just because he was a bad player doesn't mean he's necessarily a bad coach.
Had instead of him, and that's the guy.
Sure,
Kevin O'Connell was a bad player. And he's a great coach.
You don't get a chance unless with coordinators. I'm more willing to concede a bad player. The thing that really bothered me with Kwesi was what Adam said, or Kyle said. Excuse me. He didn't have any experience. He was basically just a numbers guy thrown into the position, and he had no idea what he was doing. And to be honest, I don't think it really improved much at all throughout his tenure. He always wanted to have these big swings and just pray to God it worked.
I think he moved up, and this is not. Actually, this maybe isn't even his fault, is that he got put into a position faster than he should have been. If there was a head of what am I thinking of? Head of an analytics division, and Kwesi would have been in charge of all of your analytics stuff and would have had a traditional general manager over top of him, I think Kwesi could have excelled at what he does and bringing his style of leadership to a team. It's that him being the sole voice as the general manager was probably not a good. Well, it wasn't a good combination for the Vikings.
I think you're right, West. I would love him in like some sort of consulting role.
Yeah,
I almost feel like that's what they kind of did, though. I feel like Gregson was running the drafts. Not that I'm saying that's a good thing, but I find it quite interesting that they promoted Rob. You had a former NFL GM right there in Ryan Gregson, and he wasn't made to be the interim GM. I thought that was quite interesting. I don't think that was an accident either.
I'm glad.
I think he's on his way out. I don't think he'll be with the team long term.
No. I think he's just there for because...
I mean, Rob Brzezinski's got some work to do.
Yeah. It's easier than people realize, though. It is. It's a lot of restructures. They didn't kill the cap like Rick. They didn't. That's the one thing Kwesi did right. If I can give him one
on paper right now, then it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, some restructures, they'll be right back in the positive. They're not going to have a ton of money like Tennessee or whomever up the top of the draft.
No, it'll be like 40 at most, 40 to 50.
And they have to get in compliance, so it's going to figure itself out. So not worried about, well, will they be back in the green? Like they have to be according to the rules and regulations of the NFL. But I'm with you guys. I think we're doing a lot of spitballing now that he's gone. We can say, look how right we were. But by the first pick, I was already pissed off. You don't ever trade in division with your fucking opponents, and
especially with what he got. Looking back, it's he didn't even get a future one. It's just so bad looking back.
Lewis Cine would have been coming up on his 5th-year option, or would have had his first contract extension by now. He's not even in the NFL anymore. That kind of sets the tone.
Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, I mean, so does what's his name? What's the backup? Drew Lock has one now.
Yeah,
he didn't do shit for it. I get what you're saying, but he's not even in the NFL anymore, and it's like, all right, that kind of set the tone for me looking back on it. Sure, you get Will the Thrill and Dallas Turner and Jordan Addison. Hopefully Donovan Jackson's good, but what percentage of his players are still on the team?
That's some good scouting. That's like relying on your scouts to draft you a good kicker. Like
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. And we had said this last week, and I'll say it again for you guys, everyone else listening, is that not having Kwesi running the draft, that doesn't actually hurt the team at all. It actually might be an improvement. Like all you have to do, you just rely on Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores for what do you want on offense, what do you want on defense. Do you want this guy B-Flow? Is this who you're going to pound your fist for out on the table? Then we'll draft him. Kevin O'Connell, is this who you're going to pound your fist for? Okay, then we'll take him. Like I really don't think this draft is going to all of a sudden be a complete failure because we don't have Kwesi out there running it. Like we're fine. We're fine.
The second round pick safe. The second round pick is safe.
Yeah.
Well, before we talk about the Super Bowl, let's spitball it right now. Yeah.
If anything, you're not making any trades. You're just sticking put with where you're at, and you're drafting best player available.
This is the perfect segue. I was just going to say, assuming we don't bounce around, nothing crazy happens, we're going to stay at pick 18. My heart wants us to draft a center. I think my brain says they're going to get a safety or a corner because it's kind of a position of need. What say you guys? What does your heart want?
Is there a
what do you think they're going to do?
The first thing I'd say is there a Linderbaum type prospect in this year's draft? Because at 18, that is not that by the way, I was the guy back in the day saying we should trade back in that. It was the same class, Lewis Cine, right? Linderbaum was in that class, correct? I believe I'm right.
I have no idea. Sure.
Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Regardless, that was the guy I liked. I actually don't hate the idea of drafting a center. If you get it right, you get it right. Everyone cannot be scared because Garrett Bradbury was a first-round center. Travis Frederick was really good. Tyler Linderbaum was really good. We just took a bad player. And if I hear one more time that Garrett Bradbury looked better in New England, I'm going to lose it. He was awful in the Super Bowl. Took his first penalty finally. The team just rode their luck. That Patriots team was so bad offensively in the playoffs.
But player in that Super Bowl?
Who?
Part was he?
I think Bradbury was the worst rated player in that Super Bowl.
Not that I'm shocked. I mean, the sun's going to rise tomorrow too. I mean, we all knew he's been bad his entire tenure. It was the funniest thing that everyone kept saying. Oh, Bradbury's looking good. Go look at his PFF grades. They're the same crap they were here. The problem was they were winning and they didn't take a penalty and give up sacks. Congratulations, you're a center. You're not supposed to be taking penalties or giving up sacks.
New England had an absolute cupcake schedule.
Scrambling too,
yeah,
and avoiding
in the postseason too.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know how much of that you can put on, Bradbury giving up the pressure when the quarterback can get away like that.
Drake May, 30.0 PFF grade. Will Campbell, 38.2. Garrett Bradbury, 49.2.
Oh, so not the worst.
Not the worst, but still really bad.
A low-graded defensive players, Corey Durden, 29.4. Good God. Yeah, those are bad.
Yeah.
Kyrus Tonga, 40.6. Not good.
How'd Diggs do?
I'm just doing it's an AI thing here. It only gives you the top 5 from each. I'm not.
Diggs was terrible in the Super Bowl. But
he also lost his baby mama.
You said it. I didn't. I was thinking it. I didn't say it. I was thinking it the whole time. I was never going to mention.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Turd.
Diggs is cooked.
Anyways,
Why would you want him on your franchise? The production.
New England will do it though. They love having guys who have a dirty record. I mean, they pushed 2 guys court dates past the Super Bowl. 2 people think about Diggs. They also did it with, I believe, I'm almost 100% sure it was Christian Barmore, the other one that they did that for. They're a disgraceful organization. They don't care. They never have. It's why everyone hates them as an organization. They are disgusting. They will put playing and production over anything else. They don't care. Simply put. New England is number 1 at that.
It's probably been 15, 20 years since the Vikings made that change where character was a lot more important in their locker room. And I'm so glad they did.
That was sort of a Rick Spielman thing when Rick kind of came on. They kind of put the character thing out there, and I do agree with that. Sometimes you got to take on a bit of a basket case. We had Randy Moss out there in his prime, and occasionally
Addison's fighting for that spot though. He's doing a great job in that department. I'll tell you that.
He's keeping that alive. I don't think Addison is going to be on this team in 2026. He's getting traded, like Smith said, to the 49ers for something, a second round pick, or I don't know what.
But I got to ask you guys, is TJ Hawkinson going to be a Viking in 2026?
I'm stealing this poll question from a website. I can't remember which Instagram it was. Who do you think is more likely to be on the team next year, Aaron Jones or TJ Hawkinson?
Oh, boy.
Hawkinson by a good margin, just because of the cap situation. They can restructure his contract and actually save more money than cutting him. I want to say this, and this is going to come out only one way. It is what it is. McCarthy was so bad, I almost don't want to judge anyone. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
That he was that bad. Justin Jefferson needed to go against the second team Packers defense to get to 1,000 yards in week 18. It was that bad. Thank you, Carson Wentz. I've said this before. Thank you for your service. Without you, we weren't getting there. We weren't getting to 1,000 yards. But
hey, Wentz hit up those tight ends real good. That is what he does.
Yeah, it's sad that I think Wentz, even though he was, McCarthy slightly beat him out by the end of the year. I remember when I was on with you guys, I said, I think it was week 13, whenever we did the video. I said Carson Wentz was our best quarterback to that point, and he was. That's how low the bar was. It was that bad.
You're going to make me defend JJ McCarthy right now, and I don't want to do that, Mike. He did show improvements over the year. My biggest
at the end
is the coaching staff and or brass rushed him out this year. And they gave him a starting job. I've said this 7 times on the show this season. Mm-hmm. Why you just handed this kid the reins is beyond me.
You had a general manager who I don't think wanted to put competition behind him.
He wanted to just be cheap at the position. He thought that was some sort of positive.
Why he got canned, because the whole mentality of football is competition and competing. So I don't understand that. But he did show signs of improvement. My thing is, I'm not going to say he's made of glass, because that's stupid of me to say, but he's often injury prone. And what I can't have at the quarterback position is someone who's not around. And it makes me even more mad because I'm defending Kirk Cousins like crazy. You know who didn't miss any games for 6 years outside of a COVID game? Kirk Cousins. And I wanted him thrown out the building as fast as possible by the end of his tenure. And it's like, well, shit, I guess we didn't have it that bad. So I don't know. I'm frustrated. He did show improvement a little bit. It's just I would like to go back in time there's 10 or 12 moments in Vikings history I'd love to be a fly on the wall to listen to,
Love vote
conversation. But this one, this past year, when the Darnold thing goes and he goes to Seattle and Daniel Jones goes to Indy, I'd like to hear when they're in training camp when Kevin O'Connell goes, "This kid ain't ready. What are we going to do?" Because I would like to see what the general manager's face was at that point. Because I
don't even know if it got to training camp, Kyle. I think it was started in March. I'll be honest. Yeah, he sees him in practice all the time. I think I remember during free agency in March, Tom Pelissero put out they wanted to keep Daniel Jones. That was no accident. And looking back, how on earth we didn't franchise take Sam Darnold was criminal. I don't care what anyone tells me. And that's, again, the incompetency of the former GM of the Vikings, in Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah. How you thought that was a good idea is insane. It's insane. You had a 14-win quarterback you let hit free agency. What are we doing here?
This is very important to talk about. There's 2 points to that. You're absolutely right, Mike. Number one, the locker room loved him. That moment after the Green Bay win, they were parading him around like he had just won the freaking NFC championship. They loved him. And there's Kevin O'Connell, like your mom on Christmas morning, sipping coffee, watching you open the gift she got you, like proud dad moment. Yeah, they should have tagged him. And when I say that, we all would agree. I know all four of us know this. If Sam Darnold would have stayed, that doesn't mean the Vikings win the Super Bowl this year.
No.
You still have to shore up the offense. The reason that Seattle won is three reasons, right? Excellent coaching. I think that coach is awesome at what he does. And I think Kevin O'Connell's in the neighborhood of that. Two, they drafted crazy good starting in 2022 all the way up. And they
since 2022
go around throwing the ball 30 times a game. And you know what I hate? I'm going 10 toes down on that. I'm tired of hearing that shit. They didn't win because of Sam Darnold. Most of the time when teams win a Super Bowl, it's not because of the fucking quarterback. Tom Brady threw 500 yards and they still didn't win against the Eagles almost 10 years ago. It doesn't matter. Don't give me that shit of, well, he didn't have to do anything. And, he's a game manager. 90% of quarterbacks in the NFL manage the game.
That's your job.
I hate that so much. You know what Sam did? He didn't have any turnovers.
He did carry them there, though. The NFC title game, he won them that game.
The Super Bowl. He didn't have a turnover in any of those games.
No. First team in NFL history not to have a turnover, by the way, to win the Super Bowl. I don't know if you guys know that.
What's that?
They're the first team in NFL history to win the Super Bowl with no turnovers committed.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's a Joe Flacco-esque run. He didn't have as many because he didn't play the extra game, but he didn't have as many touchdowns. But doing exactly what you need. And think about the narrative about that dude. Everyone said, well, it doesn't matter if they get the 1 seed. Sam's going to implode. Well, they beat the Niners. Wait till they play the Rams. Well, he'll blah, blah, blah. And he just kept proving them wrong because he kept saying, well, Sam's going to see ghosts. Now what do you say? And I'm going to be that guy.
I thought he was going to struggle in a big game again, but he did not.
Let me be that guy for 5 more seconds. I know you're going to make the Trent Dilfer comparisons, and that's fine. I'm not doing that. I'm just being a spiteful piece of shit.
Way better.
He's got the same number of rings as Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees.
Brett Favre.
I don't want to hear that shit anymore. And I love with his draft class that people are like, well, Sam Darnold won one, and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, it's a team sport. It's a team sport. That's the thing that kills me. Back to your I think it was it you, Adam, that said QB wins are not a stat? It's true. Same with Super Bowl wins. Like, does anyone here think that Sam Darnold's better than Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson? Of course not. At least I don't think anyone here would, and if you do, that's fine. It's a team sport.
I just find that
it's a team sport. It's the stupidest thing. No, I agree. I will credit Sam. I knew he was winning the Super Bowl the minute they beat the Rams. He carried them to victory. I still don't understand what the hell the Rams' defensive game plan was. No, just letting Jigba get the ball over and over and over again. How on earth you didn't think of something a little bit more complex in the second half is beyond me, but credit to him. You could say he didn't play great in the Super Bowl. No, he didn't. You know what? Without him, they don't get there. They do not beat the Rams without Sam Darnold. They do not. I don't care. That was the best performance of his life. And yeah, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm happy for the guy. I want the Vikings to win Super Bowl. I don't really care for anyone else, but I was just happy they beat New England. Screw New England forever and always. But yeah,
I agree with you on that one.
There's not really much else to recap. Seattle wins 29-13. I will say I do like the fact that they gave it to not a quarterback for this one.
Walker deserved it.
They'll never do this, but I think the kicker should have got MVP.
I was thinking it.
He should have gotten it.
I can definitely see that argument.
He should have gotten. And I like Kenneth Walker. I like the story. You know, in high school, they're like, we don't even know if you're going to play again. Yeah, whatever. And I'm a dog handler. The fact that he's called K9 is like, that's cool as shit to me. He is a dog. I've never seen that in my generation of watching running backs. I know if you look back at like Barry Sanders and Walter Payton, all those guys, he's kind of light-footed to start, and then the acceleration is just, that burst is insane that he has.
It's a little Barry Sanders like.
Yeah, I don't remember any of the
jump cut is real good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have argued for the kicker, even though that's not the sexy pick. I mean, not only 17 points from him, but I don't know. That's the major difference in these games, man. And it's a good game plan from the coach. Sean Payton and Sean McVay, you could take notes from that. You don't have to fucking look at your fourth down analytics all the time. You could just take the points. Like, I don't know why that's the thing in the NFL.
Especially the Sean Payton one. You had a backup quarterback go up 10 points. What are you doing? What are you doing? And I don't like Champagne. No, that's no accident. I will say that to anybody. I can't stand that guy. But what are you doing?
He's my least liked coach for sure.
Yeah, me too.
He's a D-bag. But yeah, that was the Super Bowl. Seattle's got 2 now in the last 10 years or 12 years, and it looks like they could sustain. I know we said that about the Eagles last year, but Seattle doesn't have that inner turmoil and drama. They did lose Clint Kubiak.
A lot of cap space too.
What's that?
A lot of cap space.
Yeah, they draft well, good cap space. They did lose Clint Kubiak. He is now going to be the head coach of the Raiders. He didn't even make the parade. He was doing his press conference, but I love that he gave all the guys flowers on the team, especially Kenneth Walker. He's like, I didn't get to see him, but good job. Get back to work. Like, he's a good coach. I think he's finally –
literally give them flowers or figuratively?
Figuratively, sir. Figuratively.
Gotcha.
Valentine's coming up. It's good. It's a good question.
What kind of flowers would you give him? What kind of flowers does he like? Kenneth Walker? Come on the podcast and tell us.
As long as they aren't pansies.
Oh. All right.
But that's a fun question for you guys. All right. Okay. I want you guys to guess the average number of plays the Vikings ran for each drive this season.
Ooh.
There's a lot of 3 and outs.
Yeah, I know.
That's six on average?
Yeah. I'll say 6 as well.
What you got, Wes?
4.
5.46.
Damn it.
Yeah. We were right in the middle.
That's not good.
I believe it.
As soon as you said that, I immediately went to, man, they had a lot of 3 and outs and they had a lot of interceptions.
Yep.
We're going to get golden hour in here. There we go. Oh, that's frustrating. That's a good thing to lean into. I did not pick our traditional awards. If you watch this show before, we do game balls and donkeys during the season. I don't have any of those this year. So we're going to start with your biggest surprise of the year. And I'll let you guys go ahead and go first. What was your biggest surprise? It could be a player. It could be a moment. It could be a game. Anything. The biggest surprise of 2025.
My biggest surprise was Eric Wilson coming in and getting that starting job from Ivan Pace, and now Ivan Pace, I don't even know what he's doing now.
That's a good pick. That's a great choice, Adam. Yeah, he would have been, I don't know if you call it comeback because he wasn't injured, but he's kind of our comeback player this year. It's like, hey, remember me? I played a couple years ago. I'm still really good.
And I think that can bring him back. Fingers crossed.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
It wouldn't cost a ton. I would think he would be. I'd be pretty surprised, especially with the way Flores used him as a blitzer. I think they'd like to have him back. I do.
Vikings have a really underrated linebacking core in the whole league all around. So I like that. Good choice, Adam. What about you, Kyle?
Well, biggest surprise. So I'm not going to say that it worked out in the long term. It didn't. But in the moment, I think the biggest surprise that the Vikings did was trading for Adam Thielen. I think that was an exciting moment. It didn't work out, but that was exciting as a fan base. I think we were all fans of Adam Thielen and having a fan favorite coming back to the team. That was a good moment, and I think we were all on board for it, and we hoped that it would have had a better outcome than what it actually did. It was that was a fun 24 hours seeing Thielen come back to Minnesota.
Him demanding a trade take second place?
Yeah.
What about you, Mike?
Well, first off, I do want to say I love Adam Thielen, but I knew that was a bad idea. It was a surprise, though. I guess that is the column here. My surprise is Max Bromser and the Vikings winning on Christmas against the Lions. We had no business winning that game. I still don't actually know how we won that game. We ended the Lions season with Max Bromser at quarterback.
They're 4th place in the NFC North.
Yeah. They celebrated it, by the way. They celebrate. What a bunch of losers that fan base is. You're celebrating coming in 4th in division? That's embarrassing.
And now we got the easier schedule. Yeah.
Yeah, they got an easier schedule. Good for them.
And Jared Goff's making $50 million now. Good luck. Have fun.
My biggest surprise of the season was Isaiah Rodgers. I saw him winning the Super Bowl last year, but he wasn't like one of the starting corners. And I thought, okay, rotational dude in Philly, he can come in and play a role. Dude had the highest graded game ever by a defender against Cincinnati and really showed his chops. I think he learned a lot in Philly, and he was a pleasant surprise for me this year. It's hard because if you look back at the Vikings' history when they go get free agent corners, they usually are average at best. But I think he was above average. I don't think he's a Pat Surtain by any means, but I would love to see him stay in Minnesota for a few years. And pleasant surprise compared to what his role was in Philadelphia to now he got a bigger role here in Minnesota. And he's an all-around good dude. He was calling out racist fans, and he's always hyping up his former teammates on Instagram. I just like him as a person, but on the field, he's excellent as well.
And the Vikings needed him to step up because Byron Murphy Jr. kind of took a little bit of a step backwards, and that was not ideal.
And since you mentioned Isaiah Rodgers, an honorable mention as the biggest surprise is somehow Isaiah Rodgers and Byron Murphy not getting hurt. Our corner room was so thin, and somehow they stayed healthy all year. Don't know how they managed that with all the injuries they had, but somehow that happened.
Fucking people up. That's why.
Yeah, real.
Thank you, Brian Flores. I guess I don't know. That's a good point, Mike. All right, I got to do it. I'm going to start on this one. Biggest letdown of the year. I mean, low-hanging fruit here. JJ McCarthy. I don't have much else to say there. I have hopes for him. I think he will be on the team this season. I really hope he takes Kyle West's advice that he hasn't heard yet by getting a different coach, a different mentor. And he's very young. He's very immature.
You forgot delete social media. That's important too.
Yeah. If you've seen how the offseason started, it's not going well in that direction. Did you guys see the Penguin thing that he posted a couple weeks ago? Really angered me.
Yeah, everything doesn't have to be some super deep, intimate thought. Like, just go grind it out, man, and do whatever. Pleasant surprise. My buddy David says that Jefferson didn't be in the trade.
Yeah, I like that.
I know all the other teams would pay him if they could, but you better not be demanding a trade. You're making quarterback money. You shut up and like it.
He has been such a professional in Minnesota, saying the right things, doing the right stuff. It's so nice.
He should honestly, he should be considered for a Nobel Peace Prize, honest to God. I don't know how he didn't say anything. I don't know how. I genuinely don't. It would have been so easy, too.
To Adam's point with that, too, I like that he has said a couple of times how he feels, but he kept it professional. He's, with the Sam Darnell thing, he's like, I'm not going to lie, it hurts, but that's not my job. So I'm glad he's being honest. But, yeah, he knows PR speak. He's a professional through and through. Glad he got his 1,000 yards. I'm sad. It sucks that it took him all the way to week 18 to get him, but it is what it is. All right, boys. Biggest letdown. What was it?
I can't help but not mention Kwesi making some of the most interesting decisions. I know he tried to bring back some quarterbacks, but didn't put enough money on the table, didn't put in enough effort, I guess. And then, the conversations with the head coach and trying to scramble and find a quarterback replacement, that whole situation was just rough.
Yeah, I don't need to beat a dead horse. I also wrote down J.J. McCarthy's up and down season for just biggest letdown moment because, hey, I truly felt that the kid was going to come in and, hey, he was going to struggle early on and maybe we'd lose some close games, but he'd be a professional and kind of grow into it as the season went. And it felt like everything that could go wrong did go wrong for him. He can't stay healthy. It was everything that we've talked about almost ad nauseum at this point for that kid. Just a very disappointing outing for McCarthy. And then not even being able, even though the team finished on a win streak, not even being able to stay healthy during that portion of it. It's like, man, that was kind of the one thing I wanted you to do, and you couldn't even really do that for me.
And we were talking, J.J. McCarthy, we're going to take some lumps. It's going to be a struggle at times, and I wish I'd have seen more growth than struggle. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Capine boot Jamarcus Russell through 6 games. Statistically. Jamarcus Russell. I don't want to cut you guys off. Is it my turn? Am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I'm going to be different because I've on social media, I've said enough about McCarthy and criticizing him enough. So I won't do it here.
Are you sure? You can
I'll go with Jonathan Allen just to be different.
Okay.
He was really bad. He was not good. And he played a lot too. My God. He was.
The problem too is that he has depth players behind him that might actually be better.
Yeah. Honestly, does anyone think Terry and Ingrid Dawkins wouldn't have done similar thing? No, the pressures would probably be lower, but outside of that, my God. He was the amount of times this guy missed sacks. He missed his lanes. He couldn't stop the run. He's not even a good run defender. Like, yeah, I'm good. I mean, if they post you in first him, I would not cry. Let's just put it that way.
That will probably. I think that'll probably happen.
I hope.
I don't think he's on
my
this
coworker's a Commanders fan, and he's like, "Why the hell did you guys go after him?" I was like, "We need help." He's like, "He's not going to help you." I was like, "Sure, he will."
He wasn't like the worst player of all time, but for what they paid him, he was bad. And you got to remember, they traded Harrison Phillips too. Harrison Phillips could have had 4 sacks and filled gaps and would actually start to run better. Really so just all around.
He did really well with the Jets this year. It's annoying. Yeah. Now, I would say to your point, he's not in that Marcus Davenport thing, but he's kind of putting his toe in the neighborhood to be like, "Hey, what are we doing over here?" Like,
at least Davenport when he played was good. No, I mean he's made out of glass, like sure glass that they hit you over the head with in Hollywood. But when he actually can play, he actually does things. But the problem is he cannot stay healthy. He might as well be made out of plank of wood. I feel for the guy. My God.
Hat on that. You guys ever see that GIF of LeBron when he's down on the floor and he's like, "Oh no," and he goes like this?
Yes.
I feel like that's Marcus Davenport because how are you that big? And never mind, I'm not going to do it. I can't say that.
Getting paid for not working is pretty cool.
I don't think he's mentally weak or anything. I think he's just made out of paper mache. I don't think he was. I will throw McCarthy under the bus. I don't think he was doing JJ McCarthy injuries. We're putting a towel over his thumb, or that really left a bad taste in my mouth.
Jumping around on the sideline with an ankle injury.
Come on, bro. But no, not the ankle one. The hand injury really bothered me. There's a way to conduct yourself and pull yourself out of a game. You're trying to be all macho all week, saying, "Oh, you're going to play through it," and then you pull yourself. Brett Favre laughs in your face 10 times over.
Brett Favre would have found a way to throw for 3 touchdowns.
Then McCarthy lowers his shoulder and gets the taunting penalty.
Like honestly, my God,
Adam, damn you! I'm mad about that again.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the taunting injury. Just the whole way he conducted himself against backouts was disgusting.
Hey, here's a thought that'll keep you up at night. Kwesi.
I've had a lot of them, but add on.
Kwesi is getting paid millions of dollars right now by the Minnesota Vikings to do the exact same thing we're doing right now, to not be the general manager of the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
Yep.
So and I said this on my.
So I don't feel super bad for him getting fired.
Nor do I. I smiled. No, I'll say it to anybody. I smiled like Christmas morning. It was great. I was at work when I found out. It was like noon. I was over the moon. I didn't believe it when my friend texted me that he got fired. I was, thank God. Hallelujah. I'm so excited for a draft, guys. We have a chance to draft good players. Holy moly.
I think fired coach is the best job in America. Like, you're getting paid to not coach a football team right now.
I remember Cliff Kingsbury is the first guy I think of. He had to try to act like he cared. Do you guys remember that story when Arizona fired him so he could get his money? Does anyone remember that? That he had to show some effort, so he didn't just. I think he interviewed for a few jobs just to seem like he cared, but couldn't just concede that he was sitting at home and take a paycheck because there's some rules in the NFL, which I thought was hilarious.
Draft day when he was with the Cardinals. It had like 10-foot tall glass doors, like sliding doors, and he had like a fireplace outside. And I'm like, I don't feel bad for you at all, dude.
No.
I don't feel bad for you. Like, it sucks.
Contract's absolutely insane. I still can't believe that the biggest salary cap hit for the Denver Broncos this season was Russell Wilson.
Yeah. They're off it, though. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord to Broncos fans. He's now officially off their books.
That's funny. I love the fun facts, Adam. All right, so we had the biggest letdown. What was the weirdest moment of the season?
I'll start. The weirdest moment of the season, everything surrounding Max Brosmer is like a fucking fever dream. It's like you had 100. It's like you had 102 fever, and you're covered in sweat, just trying to remember him on the field. Particularly the game where he threw 4 interceptions against the Seattle Seahawks, when for some reason during the week, the media, maybe it was the GM at the time, was leaking out like, "Oh, hey, this kid might be our secret weapon. Like we might be on to something here." Like, what the fuck was any of that?
I'm not trusting the Minnesota media anymore. Until I watch games, I'm done trusting what they say on the. I'm done. After this year, the way they praise McCarthy and Prosper, I don't care. I don't care about your.
That's another thing too. Where did this narrative in like training camp come from? Where McCarthy looks phenomenal. Maybe he did.
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe he did.
He was if you remember, even a year back, he was competing with Sam Darnell. And he wasn't.
He was gonna beat Sam Darnold. Bullshit.
And I saw a video
after this year. I'm done giving a crap what they say. The media.
I saw a video of Sam in camp last year where he threw a pick and he dropped down to his knees and he was like, "Shit," and I'm like, I don't care. I've watched JJ McCarthy for a year now. He was still not that good. Like no, I can't believe it. Weirdest moment for me was the Will Riker wire kick.
Was when the season got over and Jordan Addison was arrested again. I know he's been cleared of it, and he doesn't have charges against him anymore. But wow, that was like one of those moments where you were like, I can't believe that.
A week and a few days after the season and already finding a way to make a negative statement. That's crazy.
Making those headlines.
I forgot about that too, Adam. Damn. I'm trying to like mentally erase all this shit out of my head. I don't know.
This season could have been a movie, honestly.
And they finished with a positive record.
I don't know how. I don't know how. That's why I think Kevin's a great coach. He doesn't get enough credit. I know Flores did a tremendous job. Elite. How he didn't get assistant of the year votes is crazy to me. I don't know what's going on there, but I digress. Weirdest moment for me, since you said his Will Reichert, wire kick, he hit both his misses were hitting the wire. I don't know if you guys seen that. I'll go with that. That he didn't actually miss a field goal. So Vikings, we have an elite kicker, literally perfect on the season without wires getting in his way, and it meant nothing. Absolutely nothing.
But the Vikings didn't even have a Pro Bowl kicker this year.
They got an All-Pro kicker.
Yeah, and I knew that would happen. Yeah.
You can throw the Pro Bowl in the trash, by the way.
I don't care. Kill it. I agree. Joe Flacco was there. And the weirdest thing, that was his first Pro Bowl appearance.
Who has 7 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Like, I thought these were the best ones.
Did you guys see the photo with Joe Burrow? With the interest like, why am I with these two? How are they here? What's funny, is that the first time in NFL history the backup and the starter of the same team made the Pro Bowl? Because Burrow was his backup at the end of the year. That's got to be a first, right?
Probably.
That's funny.
They got to move the Pro Bowl back to, if they're going to keep it, move it back to Hawaii and make it a thing that the players, make it for the players, something they want to go to and enjoy. Otherwise, just don't even do it. And I
never go to Hawaii again. Now with the taxes in Hawaii.
Yeah.
I'll go one further. Scrap the game and just give me the skills comp. Does anyone care about I remember seeing YouTube comments when I rewatched the Pro Bowl highlights because I was bored. They literally said, "Where's the skills comp?" No one cares. I'd rather see them kick field goals and try to make X's and O's, longest throw, bring that back with the sticks where you put a pole for the quarterbacks in every time, it's just depending on the yards, whoever wins. Kill the game. I'd rather watch the players play Madden. Honestly.
Actually, yeah.
Kyler Murray would win. Soon to be Vikings quarterback Kyler Murray, he'd win. So we can win something. Do we get a fictional Lombardi if he wins the Madden Super Bowl?
Can we hang a banner for that?
Yeah.
That hurts my heart.
True, you have to laugh, Kyle. I trust you. I've cried enough with this team, been angry enough with this team. You gotta laugh. You gotta laugh.
This season broke me as a fan. I hate
me too.
About this season.
Yeah, I agree.
Easy one for me here. Biggest win of the season. I cannot believe Christmas Day they beat the Lions with Max Brosmer quarterback.
Yeah, what?
Holy shit. I'd be embarrassed to be a Lions fan. I was on the road, and I was like, they're not going to win this game. Short week, Max Brosmer, whatever. Get to my brother's house for Christmas, and I turned it on. It was the third quarter. I was like, holy shit, we're winning. Ate dinner, came back for the fourth quarter. I was like, we're going to win this game. How is this possible? The defense is how, but –
yeah. Oh, they were unbelievable during the game. I can say this. I also had Christmas dinner during that game. I watched it because I'm like, why not? I'm not doing anything else. It's Christmas. Right. I'm off work. And I was, oh, my God. They hit me too. Third quarter. Oh, my God. They might actually win this game. how on earth are they going to win this game? And I watched the whole thing. I don't know how. Max, my God, I wanted to throw up watching him throw the ball, but
and it's not his fault. He shouldn't have been.
I agree with you. He shouldn't have been there.
Yeah,
he should have been a QB. He should have been on practice squad.
He should have been on the practice squad for sure.
I don't feel like everything I say about McCarthy. I don't say about Bronzer. They screwed him over. He should have never been in that spot. Never. Completely agree.
For me, the biggest game of the year was when I was sitting in US Bank Stadium and I was watching Minnesota dismantle those Cincinnati Bengals.
Heck yeah.
That was my other option. It's a good one.
That's another fever dream game that you look at how this season went down and you're like, how the hell did they beat Cincinnati by that much?
Thank you, Jake Browning. Yeah, we should have cut you, Jake Browning. Yeah, we should have, and we did.
Here's the other one that'll piss you off. Taylor Heineke was available, and we didn't pick him. He's only 32, and we went with Matt.
Yeah, he would have been levels above, and at least the fan base would have got behind him. Good guy. Would have been easy to get behind.
One of those weird things, only if you're a football dork and you remember stupid shit that doesn't matter like me. But when Tom Brady was playing with the Bucs that year,
yes,
on the road, because New Orleans won the division and that was the wild card game, they gave him the toughest time. And I know it was partly because of the defense, but watching Taylor Heineke try to grit it out and beat the GOAT, he gained a lot of my respect in that game. And I'm like, you went and got Sam Howell instead of that guy? You traded for Sam Howell.
Yeah, you gave draft capital. Funny, since you mentioned Heineke, there was another story with Tom Brady that I always remember since you mentioned those two. When they were together as teammates for a short period of time. I don't know if it was in New England or not. It doesn't matter. But
yeah.
Heineke went extremely early to the facility to try to impress the team. Tom was already there with his feet up with a coffee in his hand. And Heineke was visibly shocked that he was there at like 5:30 a.m. already settled in. But that's Tom Brady. That's why he's the GOAT. And I hate him, but I hated him because he was great. Not because of Mahomes' level crying for referee calls. Brady's the greatest of all time by a country mile.
No, I'm with you on that. I did the same thing as Michael Jordan. I hated Michael Jordan just because he was so good when I was watching basketball at that time. It wasn't that Michael Jordan was bad or anything like that. I just couldn't stand him winning everything.
Yeah. And not even Space Jam could have changed that for you?
I've never seen it.
Oh, wow. The hatred runs deep. No, I'm kidding. That, but no, I get like, now that I'm, got to see the Mahomes era and this stuff we watch now with quarterbacks, my God, we had it a lot better with Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers. These guys never complain about taking hits. My God, like everyone now.
The Troy Aikman era.
Yeah, like it's crazy.
Phillip Rivers coming off the couch and being like, "This is how it's done, fellas. This is how you read a defense."
He reset the timer on his Hall of Fame year, probably.
Got that health insurance though.
Going in the Hall of Fame, but
he needs it with that platoon of kids that he
has. Yeah. For my biggest win, I can never pick a single thing on this show. Anytime we do awards, I always got to find a way to split it and give it to multiple things at once. How in the hell did this team go on a 5-game win streak at the end of the season? What? How did we do that?
Giving a fuck.
Yeah,
great coaching and culture. That's the only thing I could think of.
Right. And I do think that that's important that they were able to eke out some wins there at the end. And I mean, you look at it. Okay, so they beat Washington, Dallas, New York, Detroit, Green Bay. But hey, 2 of those are divisional opponents to end out the season. So it all counts for that elusive momentum rolling into next year. So I'll give them some credit where it's due there on eking out those 5 at the end.
For sure.
I'll just to be different. Our biggest win, I actually think, was 1-0. It's the only time I had hope. I'll never forget thinking, oh my God, McCarthy might actually be good. He has historic fourth quarter.
I almost picked that.
Quarter, man.
I mean, he did win Offensive Player of the Week.
He went Offensive Player of the Week as well. And what really bothers me, again, the hope that kills you with this team. And that line reigns true every year. I foolishly thought, he was rusty for the first 3 quarters because he hadn't played in 6. No, that surely wasn't the case. It's sad to think his best performance was his first performance. But that's why I don't like this stuff where he's young. I'm sorry. To an extent, sure. And like you said, guys, we expected some bumps to the road. Not this. I mean, he didn't even throw for 2,000 yards. Didn't have a 300-yard game. Had two. You want to hear a funny stat? Kyler Murray only played 5 games. Hopefully soon to be Vikings quarterback Kyler Murray. I'm hoping to try to pray he could become something with this team. I've always been a Kyler fan, so maybe there's some bias there. But he played 5 games, okay? He had 3 200-plus yard passing games in 5 games. J.J. McCarthy in 10 games did it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm not the biggest Kyler Murray fan on the planet, but I do think that out of all the names that have been linked to this team,
agreed,
he's got the most potential to come in and run this offense and actually surprise the holy hell out of you coming down the stretch, because there is a bit of a cheat code. If you can understand what Kevin O'Connell wants to do, man, you got one of the best wide receivers in the game out there. Throwing to 18 will help you out immensely. Kyler Murray, I don't hate it. I'm kind of talking myself into it.
And I'll be honest, I'll give you guys a little bit of breaking the fourth wall. I watched Kyler Murray 2025 highlights this morning when I got up. I'm like, okay, maybe I've been too high on him. And if you look back at his performance against the Seattle Seahawks, who went on to win the Super Bowl, he brought them back down, I think it was 14 points. They were down 20-6, and they tied the game. Now, they lost it because their defense was not good all year. But there's something there. I agree with you, Kyle. Like, if there's anyone I can get behind, it's him. Because, like you said, they're not bringing in Joe Burrow. As much as we all want that, it's not going to happen. I almost feel like it's the Vikings. I don't know if you guys seen the new report by Schefter. They're trying to expand the picks up to 5. I feel like that's Mark and Ziggy Wolf going at him. Schefter, please. Or Roger Goodell, please. Please, for the love of God, can we extend this so we could try to make Cincy an offer that they'll actually take? But Kyler, you could sell me on it. He's a former first overall pick. He has upside. There's some ability there. And he's had, like, we all talk about what did we all say with Sam Darnell? Now that it's happening, he won the Super Bowl, and good for him to an extent. I won't fully be happy because, again, I care about these guys until I die. But coaching matters. You saw that. He was in Matt Rule, Carolina. I don't even know who the hell the Jets coach was at the time. Was it Gase? My God. Probably. It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter. They could have me as their coach. It would have gone pretty poorly either way. Goes to San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan, and then Kevin. It all works. And by the way, Mike Macdonald might be the best coach of the 3 names I just named. Mike Macdonald did a fantastic job with Seattle this year. So 3 really good coaches back to back to back now for Simon. Would you look at that? He all of a sudden looks like a top 10 quarterback now. Kyler with Kevin O'Connell excites me. I could see it happening. I could see it working. The thing that scares the living crap out of me, can he stay healthy?
Yeah.
He's had injury problems the last couple of years.
Pardon?
Is there a Call of Duty game coming out this year? Because that's my year.
You would think, I get it's a good troll, and I thought about it myself too. I really believe Kevin gets these guys to buy in, and that's why I'm wearing the shirt actually about Kyler Murray. It's a Randy Moss shirt, and Kyler was a diehard Vikings fan as a kid and idolized Randy Moss and Dante Culpepper. That's why I'm wearing the shirt right now, and I think he'll care. I think that matters for a guy. Like, everyone says, his leadership stinks. You try to be on that Cardinals organization. Yeah, the owner doesn't let their players have free child care or eating in the food court. The cafeteria, they have to pay for everything. What are we doing here?
So crazy.
Are you serious? We put your bodies on the line for you. Torn this, torn that. You can't even let our kids stay at the facility for free?
And
are you kidding me?
Right there, it'll be $4.
Like, that's crazy. But like, I think that's gotten to Kyler's mind a little bit. Again, I don't sit here and say he's an angel, but then with Kevin, I think he could change the narrative. I do. I do.
Yeah.
So when you guys are thinking about a
I didn't say.
quarterback for the
Oh, no, I
Vikings,
did say
are
my
you
best one was
thinking
the
someone for
Bears
1
game.
year, or are you thinking long term for many years?
For Kyler?
No, for the Vikings.
Oh,
They're looking
Kyler.
for a
I think
quarterback
many years.
fill-in
That's why I
for
said
1
Kyler.
year.
I'm done with the short fixes.
So
I want an actual
McCarthy.
quarterback. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. If I can get a bag of McDonald's French fries and a sausage McMuffin, I'm in. So sign me up. I'm good. Yeah. In all seriousness, as much as I troll there, I think you could get a third for him. Trade him to somebody who's. There's so many teams that you could get a third round pick from. Trade him now before you kill his value. Trade him this offseason. I would. Yeah. They won't. Mind you, I said that last time about Questy, so let me just keep saying it so maybe I'll get lucky again. They won't do it, but I love them to. I would bring in Kyler and just move on from McCarthy.
Jordan Addison so you can have draft picks to get Mac Jones. I don't want Kyler Murray anywhere near this team.
Would you trade Mac for a second? Would you trade for Mac for a second? Would you trade a second round pick for Mac Jones? That's my thing. I think it's too much.
Sure, but here's the thing: there's nobody in the draft that you want. So I
agreed.
I want a long-term answer too, but we don't have that at the moment.
Mac Jones, your answer, or are you just looking at
Kirk Cousins on a cheap deal or Mac Jones? And hey, we'll see if you can fit it's all whatever your cup of tea is. Like Mike's saying, he likes Kyler. I think Mac Jones, doesn't have the injury history that Kyler does, and I'm thinking
that's a good point.
You're an adult. You can run this shit. I watched you in San Francisco ball out. We resemble them a little bit with coaching and personnel. Why not?
Oh, and we took Sam. I don't know if that's where you're going with that too, but the carryover is clearly good because we had Sam from San Fran that worked really well.
In comparison to what I really want, I don't really want any of these guys. I want Josh Allen. That's what I want.
You don't even want.
Yeah, I want. Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier.
If you listen to Vikings fans, though, they'll tell you JJ McCarthy could become Josh Allen because he had no pieces in Buffalo and was coming out of Wyoming and really stunk his first year, kind of. But even though he had to work on a million things that McCarthy hasn't had to work on because he actually played at a good school and was a proper recruit and actually was given all the opportunities. But aside from that, they're the exact same.
David says, David, we talked about this earlier. San Fran, they're full of shit. They're trying to leverage that. You're not going to be able to.
If they get a second, they'll do it. They'll do it for a second. Yeah, they will.
That's why I say if you trade Addison, you'll have a little more ammo. But God knows what they're going to do.
Never forget the classic Rick Spielman. We have no intention of trading Percy Harvin at this time. It's the same energy.
Yeah, we remember that shit.
It's the same energy.
Toughest loss. I wanted to put Seattle on here, but I think the toughest one for me, knowing what the team could have been and done, and I did not want to see this team in the playoffs. But then again, Green Bay looked like shit, and they lost a really big lead. The Bears game the second time around.
Yep.
Remember they came back at the very end of that game and they were winning, and then all of a sudden Caleb Williams.
I knew they were going to lose. I felt it in my bones. I knew it. It was so Vikings. I was going to pick it. It was my pick too.
That was tough for me because they should have won that game, and I think they would have ended up 5-1 in the division. That one pissed me off. That sucked a lot. The Seattle Max Brosmer game is pretty awful too. Like falling down to your knees and just lobbing up an underarm pass. Like I almost felt bad for the kid, but you can't do that shit. So
no, but that's Kevin. That one I'll blame Kevin. Kick a field goal, bro. Just kick a field goal.
Yeah.
Just get Will out there and we're doing 50s all day.
I said it to you guys when I was on here. I think it was after that game. We should have tried out Will for a 7-yard field goal just for fun.
Really should have.
Just to see if we get points. Honestly,
it's funny because Mike was talking before we started talking about this about how like the preseason media in Minnesota was hyping everything up. Remember them saying that Will Wright was having a terrible preseason?
That's a good pull. I forgot about that. That's a great pull. Yes, they did do that.
And he turned out to be the best part of the team, probably.
Yeah, no, I think without a doubt, pretty much.
That's terrible. David, you say the kick coverage team blow. You talking about that Bears game, David? Comment and let us know.
That's exactly what happened.
That sucks. Yeah. Adam's been to how many 10 games now, and they've been all wins. So
correct.
If we're in the Super Bowl, you better be there one day. If we're ever in, you have to go. The money does not matter. Start a GoFundMe. We'll figure this out. We got to get you there. If you were in a Super Bowl, you have to be there.
It's not.
This is not a debate at this point. If you're 10-0 with this team, you have to be in the Super Bowl. You have to.
We were looking it up the other night working, and the cheapest seat we could find on StubHub and SeatGeek and all that was starting at $4,000. So
Oh,
$4,000 for a Bad Bunny concert. I'll take it.
there you go. Do you guys tell us yours?
I'll go.
I know. You want to go? You want to go?
Yeah,
I think West is the only one left, right?
Toughest loss.
I didn't say one.
Oh, I thought you picked the same one.
I was going to pick a different one because that was Kyle's pick.
You guys remember when we sent Carson Wentz out to die on a Thursday night football game? He was the most injured I have ever seen a quarterback look in my life. He was practically on a stretcher when they put him on the field. Holy cow. Everyone I know at work knows, well, everyone that I work with knows I'm a Vikings fan. And the next day when I went into work, they were like, dude, I felt bad for him. Everyone was like, I've never felt bad for a football player. He looked just, what did they do to him?
Yeah, that was bad.
Oh my God.
He tore his shoulder up for this team. You know, as much crap as he got for bouncing around because he wasn't the same after he tore his ACL. Like, that's just
No.
as much crap. He gets all of my respect for trotting out there because rarely does it just happen in an instant. Like, you know, Anthony Barr falling on Aaron Rodgers and breaking the clavicle like that. That's an instant play. Carson Wentz tearing his shoulder apart was weeks in the making. So,
and that's coaching malpractice to put him out on the field like that.
And training staff. Yeah, everybody. I agree.
Yeah.
What's crazy that Wentz wasn't like, take me out, I'm in pain. No, he just.
No, he's tough. That's what it looks like, JJ McCarthy. That's what a tough quarterback looks like. Take notes.
I tell you what, I don't want Carson Wentz as my starting quarterback, but is there a role for him? We've talked about this a little bit.
QB3.
Your backup, your QB3, you're somewhere in that room. He did enough to earn that, I think, maybe moving forward.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Let me tell you this right now. Those players in that locker room respect him. He put his body on the line. Look, if he takes Max Bromster's job, does anyone care? You demote Brosmer to practice squad. Wentz QB3. You bring in a QB2 or / starter, or however you do it. I would bring in I would bring in 2 new quarterbacks. Once would be the only one that stays.
I'm bringing in
if I had it my way. I mean, sure, the more the merrier. I mean, sure, why not? But yeah, I agree. I'd bring him QB3. I would, because he deserves to be able to go out without a torn shoulder and have at least somewhat of a night. Maybe give him the last snap of the Week 18 game and have the fans cheer for him because it's the last snap of his career or something. That it'd be nice. But
sure.
And when we're talking about last game heroics, I wanted to talk about how much I absolutely love that CJ Ham got to go out on such a good game.
Yep.
Yeah. Does anyone think that was Harry's last game? Because I'm starting to think so. That was probably it too.
I think
from what Aaron Jones said, it sounds like it.
I want it not to be, but I think it is.
I want there to be that kind of magical perfect storm.
Yes.
Where he can sit out training camp and preseason and he can sit out the first couple games of the year and then, hey, this team's actually really good and they got a stellar defense.
Eric Weddle. Pull Eric Weddle.
Yeah, and hey, we do the Patriots thing where we call you in and Harrison Smith can come in on week 6 and have a run with the playoffs with the team. Like, I'm okay if that happens.
I've said this too. Not everything to a T of what you said, even though that would be the perfect situation for his, well-being and health, whatever. I wanted a send-off for Harrison Smith in a playoff game. Like, for God's sake. Like, dude, he doesn't deserve to go on a Week 18 game against the backup Packers. Yippee-ki-yay. Like, come on.
He's going in that Ring of Honor, though. He'll sound that hard.
Oh, yeah.
He will get all the love.
Yeah. He should be our safeties coach immediately, too. But
it's sad that in his career, there's only 2 playoff wins. They're both the Saints, the Minneapolis Miracle, and then the wild card one.
Yeah.
He was a part of the Seattle.
Kyle Rudolph pushed off.
Never ever did he push off. That's called revenge for 09, if anything. Never ever did he push off.
Yeah, there was the Seattle freezing game, lost the Blair Walsh game. There was the Giants game against Daniel Jones.
Oh no!
And then last year against the Rams. So he's had some tough ones. He's only had 2 playoff wins. with the team, and that I would like to see him, have like a
go on a run.
Turn, like you guys said. That would be cool. But father time,
I'll be quick. Worst game, Baltimore. That thing was disgusting. McCarthy played like complete garbage. I hated that game. That game made me want to throw up. I was so bad. It was disgusting. We were in that game. We just had competent quarterback play. Mind you, I guess you could say that about pretty much every game.
The majority of them.
Right.
That one really bothered me.
We only lost to Pittsburgh by like 2 or 3 points too. You could have won that game. Could have won the Bears game the second time around. I mean,
I'll never forget when I fully started to turn on McCarthy was that particular game against Baltimore, because there was one throw to Addison. Nashawn Wright picked off in the end zone. If he just leads Addison to touchdown, doesn't put it in the right spot, picked off.
I'm here for Mike's villain arc against JJ McCarthy.
Oh, it's there. I don't hide it. He stinks. Like it's okay to say he's Jamarcus Russell. It's okay. To this point, he is. Every stat will tell you that.
Well, we got one left.
This JJ McCarthy kind of thing, is it almost similar to what happened with, the Christian Ponder situation where Minnesota felt like they had to get a quarterback?
I think to an extent, for sure. What bothers me with McCarthy, why I'm on this villain arc, as Kyle put it, we was a good class. We're finally drafted in a good class, and you are the worst quarterback of the 2000s. Thank you so much. Like, Penix at least has knee problems, and we knew that. What's your excuse? You had everything to help you, and you stink.
We got to pile on that, Mike. I didn't want to say this because I hate Sean Payton with everything that I have.
He was right. Yep, I was thinking the same thing. Yep, Bo Nix
at this point, because he had a lot more experience and a lot liver arm, and he wasn't on a team where he just sat.
But he's smart. Control. The QB IQ is way higher. Way higher.
I hate that. I hate that for us. I hate anytime
Sean Payton flexes on us. I thought about that also. I said that, Kyle, maybe 10 times throughout the season. That exact thought.
Yeah,
Sean Payton was right. And it killed me, but he was right. He was 100% right. And he laughed at us, and as he should have. He knew. And I'll be honest, looking back, we should have known. He knows quarterbacks so well. We should have known. He made Taysom Hill work for a little bit. We should have known how bad this guy was.
It's so funny. It's so right. All right, the last one, boys. Pretty easy pick around the board, but I'm going to go against the grain. The MVP of the season, there's an obvious answer here, but I'm going to give it to somebody who, God, he came in a couple years ago, and he's just been lights out every game. I haven't seen a game where, I was shocked that he played this bad. I love Andrew Van Ginkel. That's my MVP for the year. He's constantly doing his job at a high level, and I wanted to pick someone on offense so bad, but it was really hard to do that. So I'll say, okay, we go on the defensive side of the ball. Andrew Van Ginkel, you be my MVP for this year.
I'm going to go with Harrison Smith. Probably his final season with the Vikings. Like you said, Ring of Honor bound. I think you can make a really strong case. I think he will go into the Hall of Fame one day, whether it's first ballot or not. I don't know, and I don't even know if that matters anymore after what they did with Bill Belichick. They kind of ruined the whole first ballot thing with that. But Harrison Smith was a phenomenal Viking, one of my favorite Minnesota Vikings of all time. So I'm gonna give him the shout out.
Nice.
And if we're just picking players, I mean, I would love to pick Brian Flores because he had that defense just singing. But since we're picking players, I'm going to go with Jalen Redmond, who I think came in and was one of the best defensive linemen this team has. And, he came over from the UFL, and the way that he just has adapted to the NFL has been great.
That's a hell of a find.
Super Bowl MVPs can't go to kickers, Kyle, but the team MVP can. Give me Will Riker. He was
absolutely. I'm glad somebody picked him. He's the obvious choice.
I was thinking someone would. If Adam went Reichert, I was going to go Redmond. Both those two were fantastic this season. Reichert. It felt like my blood pressure wasn't high watching a field goal by the end of the year. I was like, okay, just don't hit a wire. We're good.
Yeah.
And kicking in the NFL is insane right now.
Yeah.
The players are making these long field goals that look like nothing.
Nothing. So, 60-yarders from almost like across the board. You're seeing so many attempts of 60 now. It's almost a weekly occurrence. It's crazy. I'm happy for Will Reichert. Give him the money. I don't care. If he does what a Vikings kicker probably usually does, at least he did something good for me for a year. And I'll leave it at that.
The NFL is so weird because you have these crazy 60-yard field goal attempts coming in. But you've also got teams going for it on fourth down at a record
Too much.
rate.
Yep, it's way too much. And it bothers me. I don't know if you guys talked about this when you guys were doing your playoff recaps, but Ben Johnson, you are a psychopath. And in the worst possible. When I saw him go for that 4th and 7 against the Packers, I go, you've lost your damn mind. I'm starting to think Dan Campbell was taught by Ben Johnson everything he knows. 4th and 7 in a playoff game?
Right?
For real? Yeah. In your own end?
If it is a minute left and you have to win the game, we get it.
That's different. Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. I don't know what it is, man. These guys are like, F it. Clock management, F it.
So stupid, though. And like I grew up in that era. Field goals, 4th and 1 field goals. Mm-hmm. What? Like, how have we gotten this far away? Maybe I should take that back a little bit because Seattle's kind of a throwback. If you think about it, they kick a lot of field goals. Hey, went pretty good for them, I'd say. Aside from what was it, the Barner Bash, or whatever they called it, the sneak they had for him. Aside from that, they didn't really go for a ton of 4th downs watching them throughout the year. So,
it's true.
They deserve a lot of credit. Please, for the love of God, if I could ask for one thing in 2026, less 4th down attempts. It's too much now. It's too much.
I'm going to end the show because I want to give Sam Darnell his flowers. I say this from the bottom of my heart as a Viking fan. Wish you were still on the team. I was one of the people that said no way after the Rams loss. But the guy has never complained one time. Not once. He was drafted into a terrible organization. So started out great at the next stop, didn't work. And I'll give Kyle Shanahan credit. If you guys watched the pregame show, he said, I know like people like want to give us credit for like mentoring Sam while he was a Niner. He's like, we didn't do anything. We just gave him a chance to chill. And like, he was completely still the same quarterback. He was making throws and all that. It's like, he just didn't have the pressure here. He goes, I didn't do anything as a coach. And I was like, kudos to you for saying that. But yeah, I'm so happy for Sam Darnold. The Seahawks, I think, legitimately were the best team in the NFL. It's cool to see them win. Mm-hmm. I'm going to read off the bonuses because I put this in the chat between the three of us earlier. $500,000 for 4,000 yards. $500,000 for 67.5% completion rate. So that's $1 million. $500,000 for top 10 offense. $1.5 million. $500,000 for a playoff berth. $2 million. $500K for a divisional win. $2.5 million. $500K for a conference championship win. That's $3 million. And then $1 million for a Super Bowl win. $4 million extra dollars for.
It even shows you Seattle didn't even fully know what they had.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy. Like it's
apparently you didn't hear how much Sam Darnold is losing because the Super Bowl was in California and California tax code.
I did hear, but I was going to actually mention that's so stupid.
That the NFLPA
what a joke.
Boycott California because the taxes are insane there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything.
I know I keep going back to wrestling a little bit, but the WWE changed their WrestleMania to be back in Las Vegas because of the taxes there. They were going to do it somewhere else, but then they were like, no, we make too much money doing it in Vegas.
Yeah. Well, UFC's that's probably explains why the UFC is some combat sports. Well, one's real, one's fake, but
I don't know about fake, but it's all right.
Scripted, whatever. And that's coming from a guy who has, just to be clear, there was once a time. So just to be clear, that's why I came full. Nice. So it's not like it's actually this is Kevin Owens' shirt too. There you go. So there was once a time, but that time is past. That's why the UFC probably runs out so many shows, especially the Apex too, which I hate. But this is not a UFC show, or MMA show. That was a former time with me and Kyle. But
don't badmouth it, Mike.
You like the Apex? The punches are cool, but
fights at 11 a.m.
Yes, sure. Morning. So would I, but that doesn't change the fact. I could watch them. If a UFC put it together a card with no one there, which might be the White House card, who knows? But I would watch it, of course. It's not about that. The principle of the White House, the Apex, though. We need fans at all the shows. Like proper.
Combat sports, I got to ask: Have you guys seen that new combat sport where two guys just run at each other? As
Oh,
fast as
yeah.
they can and pull
Yeah.
off?
The Australian thing or wherever they do. Yeah, it's nuts. That's nuts. It's full body power slap essentially.
It's
I'm
crazy.
not watching that shit. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I hate it.
I think it's at least more entertaining than power slap. Power slap I think is completely degenerate.
Yeah,
But
both of them are terrible, but I feel bad for those guys because they're just injuring themselves. Like,
100%. Yep,
like,
completely.
Absolutely.
You're not defending at all. You're just
mm-mm.
it's like a car crash. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically just the Oklahoma drill, but you get to start out and just I don't know, man. That's crazy to me. I didn't think it was
I
real
agree.
the first time I saw it. I thought it was AI. I was like, no way this is real. It's like, wow, this is the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can check out my work over on the Viking Age. I'm at MNVikingZombie on every social media. Hit me up, and I would appreciate all of you guys checking out my work and saying hello to me on social media. Be great.
Bam. I'm going to put that up there for you once it loads.
Kyle West
Appreciate
is
it.
at Vaguely Square on Blue Sky. Go say hi.
That's me. You should do it.
Mr. Smith is on Instagram once in a while.
I'm getting so bad. I got rid of TikTok, and now I'm ignoring all of my Instagram messages like I did on TikTok. So I don't know if I'll get rid of it because I like it too much, but they're going to come out with a study like very soon in the next 5 years and be like, hey, if you've been on your cell phone all the time, you're dying and killing yourself. And I keep looking at my phone for everything. And I got to stop doing that.
And I gotta
Sorry
admit,
to
I
bum
don't know much
everybody out.
about Mike, so tell us where we can see you and talk to you.
Mike Castellino on Twitter. I'll never call it its actual name. I don't care. It's Twitter.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you to everyone who joined us in chat. We appreciate you guys being here. You can check out the full catalog of shows over on YouTube. I don't know why you'd want to, but you can. The most recent 5 or 6 shows are probably wherever you listen to podcasts. We have them all on every platform you can probably imagine. And in the meantime, stay classy, Minnesota.